Okay. This is Radio Free Cybertron number 573, recorded on May 30th, 2018, 2 days before I go on vacation. I'm your host, but I am not Brian Kilby. That's pretty obvious to everyone on the live stream. And if you're listening on audio, I think you figured that out by now. All the people you know and love and like and, you know, can tolerate, they're all here with us.
And
plus Eric.
I was getting there. Thank you. Thank you. So first up, we have, let's see, the King of Taobao, Diecast.
I even got a belt.
Yeah.
He's not the king
he
of
is the
Taobao,
world-
he's the world champion of
Yes.
Taobao.
Yes.
We have some Wave 3 Titan Masters coming from Taobao.
There you go. It's
Really?
more than I
You're getting
have.
last year's toys from Taobao?
Well, not Titan Power of the
Prime
Primes.
Masters.
The
Prime
little
Masters.
Titan size figures, whatever they are.
Prime Masters.
Oh,
dude.
Prime Masters, whatever.
We have the man, the myth, the legend, the Headmaster Don.
Hey, I'm working on something, so I'm here. Just
Should
Yeah,
you
you-
be the should you be the Titan Master or the Prime Master now, since everything changed over?
He's Titan Master, Don.
I will always be Headmaster
We
Don
talked
until
about
the
this
sun.
last year.
Yeah,
Hmm.
until the sun goes extinct.
I'm just saying.
I'm
since
just-
you
I'm just working on a deal right now. So
Yeah, live
I just ordered
Dominomics, everyone.
yeah,
He can't
it's-
talk to us
ma-
until it's a done
it's-
deal.
Yeah, it's magic time.
We have the man who cannot pass up a conveyor belt sushi place. That's Chris, aka XV.
It was good.
Is that better? Is
I
that
got
better
my-
or worse than sketchy Chinese place?
Oh, far,
Oh, better.
far better.
Far,
just,
yeah.
just ask Brian. I've taken him there.
Yeah.
See, when
We-
people come to visit where I live, I take them to nice places, you know, with like decent sushi, all you can eat even, but like, you know, I take people to nice places. When we go somewhere with Brian, he finds the most like ratty ass, dirty
Chinese
restaurant
place,
in the
yeah.
sketchy neighborhoods.
Because he doesn't want you to come back.
And yet,
We also
Okay,
have
Mark.
Matt, aka Melvar, aka the man who hates Twitter.
we
Yeah,
all hate
okay,
Twitter
yeah.
though.
Well, that's true.
The
Not
man
exclusive.
who can't pass up a seeker. That's really it.
Yes.
We're a
That is
combiner.
better. We have the Gundam Guru, Rob. Hopefully that's not anything offensive to call you. I hope that's a good
No,
thing.
not particularly.
Yeah, he is our General Rommel. He's just not furry.
Yeah, generally not.
Good. Pounding away at a game controller right now, playing Street Fighter V, I can only imagine, is John DeLuna.
That's a lie. I'm playing Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition. Thank you very much.
I stand
Thank you.
corrected.
I'm
How
playing,
is it?
Yeah, it's good. It's got some funkiness that I would get into on a video game podcast, but not here. But
Wish we had a video game.
man,
podcast.
I think it was $40, and it's like 12 games or something like that. It's not bad.
Wow.
Not
That's not bad.
bad value. Yeah.
Nice.
And we also have Eric. So this week we had a lot of people. Say hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Great. Eric's
So-
on his $2 microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Locked in the basement.
Pretty much.
Where he should be.
Kilby is gonna hate listening to this.
Oh yes.
That makes
Yeah.
it better.
You should have introduced him as Brian Kilby's monkey's paw, Jason.
Ooh, yes. I should. That's perfect.
Edit point.
So we just like to point out after our discussion on last week's show regarding the lack of toys in the toy aisles, we actually had a number of people tweet out pictures of their, mostly, I saw a lot of Walmarts, but there were some Targets. Listeners just tweeting in pictures of the stores and what their current conditions. And then later in the week, we actually started seeing some stores with product, although some of them were also wave ones of Power of the Primes again. But I mean, hey,
yeah,
at least something's there.
or product that we didn't think we were going to be getting so soon because we didn't get Wave 2 yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Inferno showing up is kind of, a little worrisome for some people.
Yeah, in California, of all
Also,
places,
to our
of course.
friends in New Zealand, we are insanely jealous of you.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. G1 generator, is that what it is?
Generate
Usually,
G1,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I could move to the Philippines right now.
So yeah, keep those coming at TF Radio on Twitter. And if you see toys or lack of toys, let us know. All right. So favorite part of the show here. Did anyone get anything? I will kick it off because I have one thing. And since Brian's not here, that means, of course, it has to be not Transformers. So I finally got Marvel Legends Thanos.
What an odd coincidence. I also have Marvel Legends Thanos.
Wow, would you look at that?
I can't find that.
Oh, my Walmart had okay, so I was out of town like about an hour away, and they had 5 of them there, so I didn't know you wanted one, otherwise I might have picked it up, but I don't know if I'm going back that way anytime soon.
Yeah. There was a whole shelf, and I was like, why, yes, I will.
That's right.
And since Brian's not here, we can totally talk about it on the show.
Yeah. His arm articulation's a little limited because they're big arms and the gauntlet and everything, but I mean, a nice little ab crunch. He's got, he's pretty posable. I love the head sculpt. The head sculpt's just, wrong camera. The head sculpt's just amazing. So
that is the Build-A-Figure with just new paint.
Nope.
New head.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
Well, he has 2 heads too. He has his grimace face and the grinning face.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He's got not so happy face. So, yep. So no Transformers. That's what I have. I pre-ordered something this week, but that doesn't count.
He's got a
It's
chase.
Thanos. He's never happy.
All right, I'll go next.
Here he is.
This I was excited when I saw it because I thought it John DeLuna. He got the full size Geoffrey. I just got the little stuffed animal Geoffrey.
My
And
son
I was
has one
like-
of those.
He's
I
awesome.
just had to pick it up because I'm like, I can put it on my shelf and remember Toys R Us forever.
I'll have the debt to remember Toys R Us forever. So
Adorable.
I also got Rodimus Unicronus. Thank you for everyone who
I think
looked
you're missing
out.
about half of it.
Yeah, the other half is next to
You're missing the
Unicron.
good part.
The other half is next to Unicron. Next to
Overlord.
Overlord.
where he should be because of Machinima Power of the Primes, which we'll talk about later in the show. And
No, we won't.
I got those really weird combiners off Taobao. This is the one, the bee that turns into a person, and they
Wow, that's
also
big.
combine. Yeah, he's pretty big.
Wow. Now the price doesn't seem so crazy. I thought they were smaller than that.
The other one I didn't take out of the box yet.
That's my
but
favorite.
Here it is. And they do combine. There's a whole bunch of combining instructions
wow.
on the back. And they come with a whole bunch of stuff in the box. They come with like stickers and a product, a product sheet, really nice, all the figures.
You mean a
and-
catalog?
Yeah, catalog and instructions. So it comes with like 3 things in the package, which is pretty nice. And let's see what else. Oh, I got the Iron Factory Jetfire or Skyfire
Cygnus.
Legend scale. So Cygnus.
Yep.
Get down with the Cygnus.
Wow.
And what else did I get? I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got the belt at Toys R Us. I got a room lightsaber light thing that works with remote. It was like $10. It doesn't light up very well, but it's not bad for $10.
Yeah.
And I also got Crackup.
Which you finally got
so
transformed.
So whose Stunticon is that?
This is X-Transbots, and it was
Okay.
only $40. And it's
Oh.
really nice. It's probably one of their nicest figures. Not perfect, but nothing to really complain about. Let's try and I'll grab one of the other Lambors right here. And just for a size comparison, they scale very nicely together.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So-
Yeah, he's about the same size as Red Alert for the audio listeners.
Yeah.
Is it 40 like the actual price, or did you get it on sale?
No, that's the actual price. All the U.S. retailers have it for $39.99, I believe.
Oh wow.
So, it is worth picking up, especially for that price. I really hope that they don't jack up the other figures in the Stunticon set. You know,
So
this is
it's a cheap shot of Crackup to get you hooked, is what you're saying.
Yes, Crackup is the cheap, you know, free one-time sampler price. So, that's pretty much
free when it comes to third party.
Yeah. I mean, Masterpiece, that's like half the price of a Masterpiece figure nowadays.
But is it equal in quality to a Masterpiece figure? I think is the important question, because anything can be the same size as a Masterpiece figure.
It's really nice quality. I don't have any complaints about it.
But in terms of, like, you know, build and design complexity, does it feel comparable to a Masterpiece toy, or is it more like, you know, just a Voyager car?
No, it feels comparable to a Masterpiece figure.
Okay.
So
Nice.
there's one part that these tabs on the back that just kind of don't sit right, and I'm not sure if I transformed it wrong.
Yeah, I would bet on diecast error.
That would be the only thing. I try not to use instructions because I like the challenge of transforming it but if I feel like I'm gonna break something, that's when I go to the instructions.
Good idea.
Yeah.
If you were Brian Kilby, you would never put instructions down in that case.
That is true.
Anything else, Diecast?
Yeah, I got some NECA stands for 6-inch figures at Toys R Us. Pack of 10 they're normally $10. I got them for $5, which they're actually really hard to find. I was happy to pick them up and find them. And I got a whole bunch of diecast Star Wars vehicles because diecast.
Of course.
They were only $2.99 after. I think they were the ones originally. They're like $5. They're like this big. You know, a little bit bigger than a Hot Wheels car. But they're actually pretty nice. I have them all on the shelf together, and they come with little stands, and they look fairly decent.
Yeah, I saw some Hot Wheels Star Wars vehicles at Target on one of the clearance end caps yesterday. Almost bought an AT-AT for $1.50. Almost.
Yep.
All right, cool. Don, you done wheeling and dealing? Did you get anything?
No, I'm not, but I didn't get. I ain't found nothing.
I know that feeling.
Well, not for
lots.
yourself, but you've been working to try to help others.
Yes.
Yeah, Don did try and help me with the Rodimus Unicronus, so I appreciate that.
And I kind of got in the way of him helping Rob with a Grimlock, so, you know, it's a pattern for the week. But Don's been trying his hardest, and he's been finding things that would have ostensibly been for other people, so that's good.
Yes.
All right, how about you, Chris?
Well, I didn't get any Transformers this week, but I did get some stuff. So first, the best thing I found of what I'm going to talk about is a sealed on card Harry Mudd from the old Playmate Star Trek line.
Awesome.
I paid $3 for this.
Yes.
Hey Mickey bought one of these last year, and I paid about half what he did, so that makes it even better.
Well, Roger C. Carmel was the voice of Cyclonus, so we can say that's Transformers related.
Okay, well,
Yeah, there
we
you go.
can maybe justify that one, but we probably cannot justify my pair of loose Klingon women. So this is
Larsa and Bator.
Whoa, that's not very nice to
Yeah.
call them that.
Oh no, Diecast.
These I
if you
don't-
watch,
Oh,
if
they're
you
not
watch the show-
carded. Oh, they're not carded. I gotcha.
I don't think they're complete either, because each one just has a base plate, which, I mean, they're the correct base plates, but they also just have one knife each, and they probably came with more stuff than that. But for
Yeah, I'm
$2
opposite.
each, it seemed like I might as well.
Yeah.
And then I got an uncarded Lieutenant Carey from the Star Trek Voyager line. I think this is my second Star Trek Voyager figure. The first one I got was a carded Kess, for the math. This was also $2, and this one is in much more complete condition, although while it has a lot of accessories, I don't think they are all originally this figure's accessories. I should probably look that up at some point.
The toys are probably far more exciting than the series itself, too. So,
I mean, Playmate Star Trek figures, those were always pretty good, especially for the time they were released. So,
Yeah.
but I'm going to call it there, and that's what I got this week.
all right, cool. Matt, anything else other than Thanos?
I bought lots of Transformer stuff, but none of it's for me. So I found Trypticons for Chris and Rob, and a couple Dinobots for Chris. So
Wow, yeah, Chris does owe you some money, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wow, you were able to still find.
And I'm coming to
Trypticons? That's
collect
pretty
next
lucky.
month.
Yeah. My friend found 3 Trypticons last week, so they were still a good week and what was it, 2 weeks ago the sale started? Or they went on sale? It wasn't last week, so.
Yeah,
The week of the
just before
16th, I
last
think.
week, yeah.
Yeah. He actually found his back by the insecticides too. So if you're looking for one, maybe check the whole store.
Yeah, because they did move. When I originally saw them, there was an entire pallet, and it was as soon as you walked in the store. I went back this past week, and the 6 that were left were back with the rest of the toys.
Very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, the store near me sold out in 15 minutes. That's how quick things go in my area. That it's hard to find stuff in the store.
Good thing they were
Philadelphia
limit
for you.
3, otherwise they would all go in one transaction.
Yeah.
Yep. Rob, did you get anything?
Not yet, but obviously I've got some stuff coming from Chris and Matt and also somebody else. So
Very cool.
next week. So
John, did you get anything?
No, not Transformers, not directly Transformers related, since I'm still trying to hang on to that antiquated idea of collecting Takara stuff, and now that there's no unique Takara stuff, I hit a dry spell, fellas. I hit a dry spell. I do have one thing to mention, though, that it's kind of a pre-announcement, but if you go to shirtsickle.com, it's like icicle, but shirtsickle.com, and use the search bar for TF Radio. Just search for TF Radio all together now. You'll find our T-shirts. So the storefront's not live yet, but the products are. They're uploading the products right now. So if you go to shirtsickle.com and search for TF Radio, you'll see lots of Robot Nerd shirts to pick from. So do take a gander. But no, as far as like Transformer stuff, I'm not waiting on anything, and I'm not expecting anything. I don't know what to do, guys. You're gonna have to help me out.
Did you get your Transformers Cross Street Fighter figures already? Did I miss that?
I haven't gotten those yet. I assume are those in stock domestically yet? I can't remember where I pre-ordered.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be a little bit before the stores on the side of the ocean get them.
Yeah, so I don't know. Check back in a couple weeks, and then I'm sure I'll be fawning over my Street Fighter figures, which I forgot existed. And yes, those are pre-ordered somewhere on the internet, so I will get those in 2 weeks and tell you how I like them, I guess.
All right, awesome. Eric, how about you?
Recently I got Studio Series Blackout and Crowbar. Crowbar is probably like my least favorite from the line yet. The only ones I haven't gotten are Ratchet and Bumblebee yet, so I don't know if I'll like them less than him. He's okay. He's not. There's nothing inherently wrong with him. He's just all right. Blackout is really good, except, and I'm not even saying this to like as a joke, his forearms are actually terrible. Not because of inaccuracy, because they can't stay together, but like the.
Sounds right.
I'm not even kidding. His forearms are actually like my only problem with that figure.
Eric Crownover, the forearms connoisseur.
Pretty much. That's my thing, apparently. And then I got, is your favorite RID Decepticon, Jason, is it Springload?
Yes, I'm a big fan of Springload.
Yeah, I got Springload. He's actually pretty good, which I hate to admit because he's your favorite, but he's actually not bad.
Yeah, for Smalls he is. Yeah, I think he's good. I would have loved a Voyager-sized version. But
I wouldn't take the deluxe.
I was going to say, I'd settle for a Warrior.
No, Warrior. Sorry. Yes, that's what I meant.
Actually, a one-step changer of this would be pretty cool, too, because then it would be a spring load.
No, there actually is one, and it does spring load. I passed on it a couple times and then never saw it again. So if I see it at like a con or something...
nobody around here is even carrying one-step changers for that line anymore.
My local stores still are, so I don't know how this
I've
stuff
seen them
works.
in every store.
Yeah. I don't know. So all right. So moving along, we have This Week in History, and this is from 2010. This was when we had the releases of Alternity Starscream and Skywarp, and the Vice label Cheetahs were actually that was actually re-released in Japan. Exciting.
Yeah, have any of you handled those Alternity figures?
Yes.
No.
They're kind of kind of everything that was wrong with alternators, except in a more compact space.
Well, yeah.
Which is
they're
not to say that they were
1/24.
any simpler. They had every bit of complexity at 1/2 the scale.
That sounds worse.
Yes, it is. I have an Alternity Convoy, which is probably the simplest design in the whole lineup, and even that's terrible. It's a nightmare. I never touch it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, the pictures are interesting.
Some of them look cool.
Yeah, they made an exclusive Bonsaitron off of the Starscream mold, and at some point, if I could ever find one cheap enough, I'd really like to get it and just leave it in robot mode forever, because after all, Bonsaitron is an action master, so it would be appropriate to never transform it. And it's a really pretty redeco, too.
Cool. All right, so now we'll just move on to the news. No big item this week, really. Although I think this first thing's a little, for those of us who are familiar with them, I think this is pretty exciting. Ant from tfu.info revealed on his News and Views podcast last week, I think it would have been.
Last week?
Right after, Thursday and the Friday, so a day after we recorded last week. He was actually brought on as a creative producer for the Toys That Made Us on Netflix for the Transformers episode, which I think that, well, first of all, it's probably why I haven't seen anyone say, well, that's wrong, because he probably clarified anything they would have. Because the man knows everything, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, of all the people they could have tapped to come in and consult for them, that's like the one right choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have we all seen the episode?
No.
Oh, yes.
I have.
I don't have Netflix, and
Same.
the only person I know that does is I haven't had a chance to hang out with him lately, so I have not seen it.
It's really good.
It's really, really well done.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It really only covers mostly the bringing the toys over from Japan. Hasbro doing that. It covers tiniest little bit of like movie stuff. But this is what the Toys That Made Us series does. It covers the origins of the series. It highlights a couple of the people involved with it. So you see some people on both the American and Japanese side. And also, but then they cover like the decline and the slight re-rise of the brand. They do that for pretty much everyone they've done so far. So people were complaining because they didn't cover everything. That's not really what the show's for. It's more of the origins. So if you go into it with
You'd pretty much need a whole series by itself to cover everything.
Oh yeah.
Man, I can't wait till they do G.I. Joe and talk about its revival.
Well, they did G.I.
G.I.
Joe.
Joe was in the first season.
They left out that last part though.
Part 1.
I just watched the Transformers one. I haven't seen any of the rest.
Good job, Garrett.
Yeah, that was episode 3.
Or episode whatever. We're non-linear now in 2018.
I was going to say
there's still a production order.
Yeah.
Or was it episode 4?
Food.
It was in the first 4 episodes. I know that much.
Yeah, it was. I think it was episode 4. I think you're right, because it was Star Wars, He-Man, Barbie, G.I. Joe. Yeah. Speaking of other shows that we have all obviously seen, let's just get this out of the way. Hey, Diecast, how was the latest Machinima?
Drop him.
Oh, it was excellent. It was.
Ow!
Jason's not allowed to host anymore.
I dropped everyone, but we're back.
I think you pressed the wrong button.
I did. But you can't tell me that wasn't great. See, it was so bad.
I bet that played better to the stream than it did to us.
Oh, I'm sure, no doubt. But here's the
I
thing.
don't know. I think this will be a good place to combine recordings just for the maximum effect.
I am so not going to enjoy my evaluation when Kilby gives it to me. It's going to be terrible. But the point is, I so don't want to talk about this. I just dropped all you. I didn't even chance not get rid of Diecast.
I think
we weren't supposed to suffer either, Jason.
I think if Kilby wants to give you an evaluation about this, what he needs to do is just keep him focused on Eric's sound quality this week.
Yes.
So anyway, on week's Machinima's Power of the Primes, Megatron has just got the Requiem blaster from the Sanction or whatever, and Optimus Primal basically gave it to him because he looked inside Megatron and saw that he was serious about. It's just funny because Chris is doing that. He took off his headphones and everything for everyone listening to audio, but basically he Optimus Primal believes that Megatron is truly trying to help Cybertron. You also have Rodimus Unicronus, or whatever you want to call him, running around with Overlord, and they were trying to find out where Megatron went, because Megatron is the only person that ever beat Overlord. So Overlord's goal is to, basically kill Megatron. So in doing that, Overlord and Rodimus Unicronus find the Dinobots that did not go with, only Grimlock went with Megatron and the others. So Overlord finds the Dinobots and tries to basically find out where Megatron went to. Well, they kill Sludge. So I don't know if they're ever going to be able to create the Volcanicus again, because the Sludge is dead. So then they find out where Megatron's going. They go to meet Megatron there. As they were finding out how to get into this sanctuary of knowledge, they get in, and Overlord and Rodimus Unicronus were right behind them, and they rip Victorion's head off. So now she's dead. So we have two people, or two robots now, that have died in this single episode. And that's basically where they left us off at. So things are getting really, really good, and Megatron and Overlord start fighting.
Yeah, the more death you have, the better things get. I guess.
How long are these episodes?
It was like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like 10 minutes worth of something actually happened this time, which is definitely an improvement. So that's definitely something, because just. Yeah, there's just something about the camera work that up to now, and the way they linger sometimes on shots to fill space that has gotten to me. But yeah, it sounds like it was a solid episode. Like I said, I still got off this train like 2-3 episodes ago, and I don't. Maybe I'll check it out when it's all finished, but I just don't. I don't think I'm ready to go back anytime soon.
Stuff happened, and it didn't feel like the whole episode, which they're short, they're only 10 minutes, but when you're only trying to achieve one objective, 10 minutes is a long time. So this had multiple things happen in it. Like, it was like, oh, okay, I just watched a whole show, and I didn't look at my watch saying, I wonder when this is going to be over. Yeah,
that's fairly noteworthy, I would say.
How many episodes are there going to be of Power of the Primes?
I'm not sure.
Too many.
I think it's like 11. I think.
We're on 5, so we're like halfway through.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious how long I'd have to wait if I just wanted to watch them all at once.
I'm going to say probably at most 2 months.
So, Chris, can you fill us in on what the proper mixture is in the dilithium matrix then? He doesn't have his headphones on.
He's not listening.
That's interesting that you would ask that specific question, because I am actually reading about the warp field and the warp drive.
I would like to think it's not because I have that book, and judging from how thick the pages were on each side, I knew where you were in it, but I don't know if I can claim that. So
I need to get that version. Somewhere around here I have the writer's technical manual from that I ordered from Roddenberry's store, like when I was maybe 13, which is where the phrase Wheel of Blinkies comes from, incidentally. Oh, nice.
Same place I got the pair of loose Klingon women from for $2 each.
Whoa.
All right. So we have photos. Let's see. These are official Takara photos of Studio Series Jazz, Lockdown, Megatron, Brawl, and okay, yep, just those 4. So you can see in beautiful picture quality, hopefully, what these look like. Any thoughts from anyone as far as appearance?
The toys are identical to what the Hasbro releases are going to be. Just Takara has better looking photos.
Yeah, that's usually the truth. Have you guys seen any reviews of Megatron and the fact that he is completely hollow? Like you can see through his sides.
It seems to be a result of the way it transforms, though, which is how it gets so big in robot mode.
Yeah, but yeah, you can see straight through it. It's pretty.
That is weird.
Really? I didn't know that. That's kind of a bummer because I've only heard good things about it. I mean, it makes sense. It has to have because everyone's been saying, "Oh, it's so good." I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting excited." Why'd you have to tell me the flaw?
He's tall. I mean, he's a big figure for Voyager, so there's that.
I'm trying to think of an older toy that kind of worked like that you kind of like bend it in half down the middle to turn it into a robot, and as a consequence, it looked hollow from the side, but it was a fairly decent toy anyway, as I recall. It's sad that there are toys that I can only remember by the engineering, and the name does not do anything for me.
Tells you how significant that character was.
Yeah.
Yes, as I recall, at the last BotCon, we were actually having a discussion about that. What we were trying to relate what Brawl's torso design reminded us of, and we never did come up with it.
Yeah.
All right, and we have another statue. This time we have Imaginarium Art. This is their G1 Ratchet. I think we're going to have a little more positive comments compared to the statue from last week.
It has nipples too. They learned from RC.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not as bad, but
yeah, if you're digging the Imaginarium art stuff, I think you're gonna like this just fine. It looks detailed like crazy.
Yeah.
Looks like they're trying to pull off something with the Red Cross, which they can and can't do, thanks to the actual Red Cross. But it looks like they're doing a reasonable facsimile of it.
Yeah, Ratchet's shoulders now PlayStation controller is what it looks like.
Oh, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yep.
I think the Masterpiece initiated something like that effort to. What they did was they had the Autobot symbol with 4 little red blocks around each side. So it looked like a red cross with an Autobot symbol over top of it, but distinct enough where you can't say that's a red cross. Stop it.
This, going by the shape, if you wanted to do like the right details, they could actually do 4 Autobot symbols arranged into a red cross shape if they wanted to.
Oh, that would work. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to see it in actual seeing it, but I think it could work, but it might look kind of silly. Speaking of silly, we have another wrecker from the Bayverse. This one is movie Roadbuster, which anyone know what the deco was on Roadbuster?
Was Roadbuster the Target car?
Yeah, it's the red one.
Isn't that what Diecast already has, though?
Yeah, I already have Roadbuster.
Okay.
Oh, so are we getting like multiple versions of third-party movie Roadbuster now?
Wait, that's not...
No,
this one's green. This isn't Roadbuster, I don't think, is it? Or is it Roadbuster?
That's what the article says.
Leadfoot Target was Leadfoot.
Yeah, I was gonna say Leadfoot is the red. But this is Roadbuster.
Yeah.
He's green. He's like a dark.
No, he's blue.
Okay, yeah,
he's
this
blue.
is
No. The other one's blue, I think.
This guy's green because there's a link
top
to a
spin is
vehicle
blue.
mode photo.
Because Topspin was the Lowe's car.
So it was blue.
Right.
No, the green one I already have shipped to me. Like it's on the way.
We just need a few minutes to determine which incredibly memorable movie character this actually is.
It almost speaks to a bigger problem. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the thing with this one is we had the picture of the vehicle mode for this before, which made it look like it was a later stage of completion. Now we're seeing new photos of a prototype with the amazingly cryptic caption in the Weibo post where either they are working on changing the model of changing the design model or remapping the cookies, and we can't seem to decide which.
I'm so confused because my version of this is shipping. Like it's in the mail.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe
Are you
it's
sure it's
maybe.
the same company?
This is
Are you sure it's the same character?
Dream Factory. Yeah. Well,
Well,
Dream
there you go.
Factory, if I'm not mistaken, Dream Factory recently released their lead foot because we talked about it in a previous show. Because we mentioned that it was nice to get, for those people that wanted matching wreckers and weaponized modes, this was the only way to actually get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
this one.
so there's red car.
There's red one.
Yep. Yeah, you showed that off later last week or the week before,
Yeah.
so I knew that.
All I know is red. Red is here. Green is on the way, and blue is after that. That's what I know.
Maybe this is the blue one then.
That's why I'm confused.
No, this
be.
toy is definitely the green one. The green one has the chainsaw forearm.
Well, hey, it's a forearms. Eric would know.
Okay, well,
There's no
Eric,
question.
I will trust you. I will trust you to know whose forearms are whose.
Also,
but
we
it
have the
seems
power of
to
the
be your
internet,
thing.
but we didn't use that to try to figure this out. This was way more fun.
But see, a little known fact: Eric gets the guy from Mortal Kombat and forearms from Ben 10. He gets them mixed up all the time. Forearms.
Yeah. I mean, his name wasn't Forearms, but he had 4.
Moving along.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
So let's see. We had an article here on T-Formers listing for possible upcoming Studio Series toys. Chris, you wrote this one.
Yeah.
So toys are coming. Maybe.
I'm so confused about the deluxe brawl. Why?
Because.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
Because there's too many.
well, it's like a brawl, but with smaller forearms.
But it's because there's too many tanks in the line, and they had to downscale it so there wouldn't be confusion.
All I can say is I don't know where these listings come from, but given that the one character is listed as Jess, they look incredibly trustworthy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Supposedly this is a Target PDA.
Yes, I can
Okay.
confirm that from an unidentified source that it's 100% a Target thing.
Okay.
Exclusive confirmation
know.
on the show.
I don't know how necessarily. I mean, I doubt the information's fake, but I know that device is definitely a Target thing. So
Gotcha.
You've played
Yeah,
with
I
that
mean-
device before, have you?
no, I don't work at Target. I just know people that do.
Gotcha.
I mean, Jazz is probably an easy enough typo to make since an S is right by a Z on a keyboard.
That's true.
And the listing right after that is Mercenary, which would obviously be Lockdown.
Lockdown.
So, I mean, it makes sense in some sequence. Now, whether the Brawl is the new deluxe or somebody just really made a mistake entering the details for that toy, and it's actually the Voyager, who knows?
That's gotta be a
But
mistake.
there is some other codename stuff on here, and there's a second Ratchet which we had rumored as coming previously. So there seems to be some weight to some of this, maybe.
I mean, there's a Ratchet changed colors in the movie, so it's warranted that we would probably just get a redeco of him. Did we get yellow or green so far? I can't remember.
Green, I'm pretty sure.
We got highlighter Ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Well, both are highlighter. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's why I'm not actually saying a color, because both of them look highlighter. I can't really tell the difference.
Did we get green? I can't. I see. That's like one of the only two I have left to get. So I don't know if it's the yellow or the green. I thought it was the yellow, but
Matt, you've gone all in on these Studio Series toys so far, right? Which Ratchet did we get?
I can't find mine.
I thought that he was the Beast Wars expert.
He was
I
around
thought you only bought Bumblebee.
No, I bought them all.
Oh.
Of course he did.
Of course you did.
It's diecast. What did you think he?
Yeah, he probably bought 2 of each.
I was gonna say you thought
No,
he didn't buy a toy.
I do need to buy another Ratchet though, because the one I got, the mold wasn't. They didn't put enough plastic in the mold, so the wheel falls off. You
I-
just
That's
tap
sad.
it.
Yeah,
Rob's
I have
Roadbuster.
my Roadbuster. Same problem.
Now,
It's like, oh, it's broken. I'm like, oh
which
no.
color
no.
car is that Roadbuster?
Well, actually, we had Rodimus Supreme in the chat say that. Oh, great. Okay, that Roadbuster was the one we looked at. Obviously, the red one is Leadfoot, and blue is Topspin.
Okay.
So there's your clarification.
Which is what I just said 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but you didn't say it in the chat, so it doesn't count.
But I don't understand why we're seeing a prototype picture of it when mine's in the mail.
No, we moved on from that. We're not talking about that anymore.
Hey, Diecast, if you want to talk about it, you have to bring evidence to the table. Find the listing you had, that, or like whatever you ordered. Find the pictures from that if you want to prove yourself.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're crazy.
All right. Well, in more interesting news, maybe New Age Toys, tiny unofficial Bumblebee. We have him with color photos. I think we showed off the non-color photos just last week, so this is moving pretty fast. And he's a cool looking little robot. I don't know if I'm sold on the vehicle mode, but the robot mode I think actually looks really cool, especially for the size.
This is one that would definitely be displayed in robot mode.
I just don't want a Bumblebee.
How about a gold bug or a bug bite?
I'd take a bug bite.
Because we're getting those two.
Ooh,
I'd get gold bug.
I want bug bite.
The head sculpt on Goldbug doesn't quite look like what I'm looking for, but otherwise
No, but
it
it's the
looks
size
pretty
of a
nice.
grain of rice.
Wait,
Yeah, that's the other thing.
They're Legends class?
Well, okay, they're I wouldn't call them Legends class, but they're certainly made to be in scale with Legends class.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is scaled.
The robot is approximately 2 inches tall.
Yes, it is smaller than Legends Bumblebee.
I like how they look super deformed, which is really cool. The vehicles.
Yeah, they do have the right mini car proportions, which basically no versions of Bumblebee ever do anymore. So that is nice.
Yeah, that gold bug head is a little bit off, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not off-putting. I could live with that.
What's
Yeah, I wouldn't
interesting
have
to note here is that gold bug and bug bite both seem to come with the jet backpack from Dinobot Island, but Bumblebee, who actually used it in that episode, doesn't.
Makes
how
total
it
sense.
works.
That's how you keep selling them.
See, if you want the accessory, you sell it with the other figure.
Oh, I think I need that bug bite.
It's
I know,
good
it
third
looks so
party
good.
logic.
I mean, this can't be that expensive, right? It's so small.
No, they're gonna be like what, $15-20?
They better not be more than $15.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's
this thing is
third party,
tiny.
so I would guess like $35. But
Wow. Especially with zero, like almost zero paint apps too. It's pretty yellow.
Or you'll have to buy all three as a set
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah,
I can
for
see that.
$55.
I don't know if I do that. Eric, I have 3 words for you. Black
Oh,
Power Baser.
oh, no one cares about that. We don't.
I
need to
didn't.
talk
I
about it.
didn't want to buy this mold, not because it looks bad, but I didn't want to buy it. Now I have to buy it, and I'm mad.
And now we know
is-
why
is-
Jason let Eric on the show this week.
Yeah. So is that like, the self-hating collector? He's buying stuff he likes and he hates buying stuff he likes, so he's not
not all of
liking
us?
buying it.
Yeah, I was
We'll
gonna say,
get to that
don't you
on
mean
one-
collector?
I think I've gone cross-eyed. Oh, by the way, I'm done wheeling and dealing, so I appreciate your patience.
Oh, sorry, Don, we didn't notice.
Kilby does it every week. We're used to it.
The Black
Yeah.
Power Baser does look really good, though. Like, I remember they teased it a while ago, but now seeing the pictures, I really do love it. I'm not gonna lie. How much was Power Baser?
209.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I hope it's a
Well,
little cheaper, but
Eric doesn't work at Target right now, but it sounds like pretty soon he will.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't not have a job. I just don't work at Target. I work at an ice cream shop. It's great.
Yeah, but you're gonna need another job, is what.
Yeah,
he's
soon you'll
saying,
have to work
so.
at Target as well.
Okay.
I already bought the thing. I need another job because of it. Okay, so yes. Were you gonna say something, Diecast? Something else?
doesn't
I was
matter.
gonna say I was filling in for Brian. I bought some of the RFC shirts while we were
Okay, but see, you did it wrong because you didn't like make a big verbose point about it while you were doing it.
Well, I
That's
mean,
Kilby's thing. He buys stuff during the show and he makes sure everyone knows he's doing it. He also multitasks better, so he's actually like participating more while he's doing it, Don.
We didn't have to convince you to do it either. Like he's always like on the fence, and it's like buy something.
Well, that's the thing though. Kilby just wants an excuse. Like left to his own devices, he probably would do it, but it's easier for him if he can just resolve it in his mind. Well, somebody else is convincing me to do this, so I guess I'll go along with it. See, it's this whole psychological thing. He needs that affirmation from the outside. He needs a justification for spending this money that he really knows he shouldn't be spending, but probably would anyway.
He's like, guys, please peer pressure me into this bad decision so I can justify it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Diecast,
It's
you gonna double
really
dip?
easy to get him hooked on drugs.
Probably.
No,
Not double dipping on the Power
Caffeine
Baser.
Worse than anything else.
I don't
Yeah.
need the black one.
What if they did a Fire Guts one? Would you buy it then?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Would Don buy
I would
it?
have to see it.
Well, I've got Fire Guts Convoy. The one thing about Power Baser that turns me off is that huge
Yeah, we know the
backpack of his
backpack.
legs. Yeah, that's the, and I'll be honest, like Fire Guts is not my favorite version of that. You know, I like it. It's just I really don't think they can do a version that I can think of off the top of my head that would give me get Power Baser. Just because basically
Okay, well,
I'm Power Master.
What if they decoded as RC?
Not really. No, I'm just saying. But looking back over the past year and a half, did you ever think we would have this much Power Master Optimus Prime to choose from? As you've got the Divine Suit version, you've got the Power Baser version, you've got the God Bomber upgrade for Power Baser. I think that's coming out.
No, that's
not
Power Baser. That's for Make Toys, the cross.
Okay.
Well, they're making one. They're making one. It will be coming out, Don. You're right.
Yeah.
I saw regret that the Hasbro version was made one gimmick too soon.
Yeah.
So I mean, we basically have more Power Master Prime now than we could ever have thought of, and I'm kind of Power Master Primed out.
Meanwhile, I'm buying all of them apparently.
Yeah, you know, I think for what an orange Power Baser would end up costing, I would probably rather just throw another 100 or so into it and actually get the original Fire Guts Jinrai.
Yeah.
Like for the amount of enjoyment I would get out of it, just like sitting there being bright orange on a shelf, I think I'd probably just rather have the original instead of somebody's remake that's too big and too complicated and doesn't feel like a toy.
I will be honest, if they could take Power Baser and somehow color it to look like Godfire, like RID Optimus and Magnus, like Magnus would be the trailer part, Optimus would be the regular Optimus. I'm just saying, as far as the color scheme, that would be like their version of Godfire Convoy, kind of. It that might be kind of interesting. Just depends on how the paint and all the deco would work out. But that's maybe they could do it as a Thunderclash kind of look. That might be kind of interesting, and just again something different that you don't normally see from that mold. But I don't know.
I kind of want Make Toys to do a Fire Guts of theirs because theirs is the cheapest and it's also probably the best toy. So I saw that, Chris.
Well, speaking of things that are interesting and unique, we have in-hand photos of the 2-packs for the Street Fighter 2 X, or crossover Transformers. I'm going to assume we're going to hear something from John DeLuna on this one. Assuming he's back. He left earlier, so maybe not.
The packaging on this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the way
I don't even know if I would want to take them out of the package. They
That's
look
what I was
so
going to say. I
good.
never leave anything in the box. This is something I would maybe can leave in the box.
I mean, I don't know if the box itself is all that special, but the way they're packaged is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the packaging itself actually looks really good. And it looks like there's a lot of information on the back if you can read Japanese.
Yeah. So basically, for whoever's not watching the live show, or
and you should be
on
watching the
YouTube,
live show or on YouTube. You should be at tfradio.net/live every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Time, watching the show and participating with our live chat. And I'm going to keep talking over Diecast so he can't say anything.
Wait, it's not 8:30. It's 8 now.
Also, it's 7:30 Eastern time for the live for when the stream starts.
But the show starts at 8:30 Eastern.
No,
if you want to be here,
no, it starts at 8.
Yeah, 7:30 is pre-show.
Oh yeah, we
8
pushed
is
it back a half an hour, didn't we?
Yes,
It's
we
been
did.
like a year.
Where have
man.
you
Just
been?
never start on time.
But they
I will
are
say,
posed in packaging like they're fighting. So Chun-Li is upside down
Chun-Li.
Yep.
doing her spin kick, and M Bison is doing that
Or Vega, since it's Japanese.
forward
Yeah.
drill. Yeah.
That's doing his Psycho Crusher. I love that Japanese fans are already calling that figure Vegatron.
Oh,
Nice.
That's so awesome. That's awesome.
Now I
I
can
approve.
I'll be honest. I have no desire for these figures in any way, shape, or form. But this is what good packaging can do.
Yeah.
At the very least, make it stand out on the shelf and get people maybe that's on the fence. Like if I had the slightest bit more love for Street Fighter, I would actually get these sets just for the display ability of these packages, because that's just really a really nice look.
The only other time I've loved packaging as much was the Platinum Edition, the Autobot Heroes set, like the one with the Magnus, the pretty like that Autobot set. I really love the box to that, although that's not necessarily the same factor here, where it's the positioning. and the
Yeah, but I
packaging,
mean, like I think the best of all though is the fall of Cybertron G2 Bruticus with the lovingly crafted packaging in the spirit of actual G2 packaging.
I wish they had gotten that designer back to, at the very least, to do the outer box art for the G2 Combiner Wars figures.
Yeah, for the good toys.
Yeah.
Kitty, what's wrong, huh?
Oh,
Ooh.
no.
Uh-oh.
Comes.
It's about time.
All right. And another follow-up from something we had last week, or at least, yeah, I think last week. We have one image here of the Pop Culture Shock G1 Optimus Prime. This is the cel-shaded color statue. So we have a first look of it in full color. And I think we all pretty much enjoy the cel shading look of this. I think it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was MP40.
No.
No. This is
just a joke, because I see a lot of people dropping hints at the third Masterpiece Optimus Prime redesign that we're supposed to get.
I mean, Takara has already dropped hints at it.
Yeah.
Or they could reuse MPO1 as cel shaded. That would be very interesting.
Or they could do something better.
Or they could
than
make a
that.
character that they haven't made yet.
No, they can't do that,
I know
Matt.
how this works, Matt.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's very aggravating.
Well, Matt, let's look at it this way. Would you rather have another Optimus Prime of some nature, be it Don's complete fantasy of an MP1 reissue or a newly designed one somewhere a little bit farther down the line, or would you rather have a year of nothing but Beast Wars masterpieces?
Optimus Prime any day of the week.
So Beast Wars it is.
See, this is like a cross-examination. You don't ask a question unless you already know what the answer is going to be.
Of course, I mean, every time there's a Beast Wars masterpiece, I save that much more money. So
That's true. Well,
Yeah,
and if the
that's
Optimus
true.
Prime came out, you'd probably also still save that much money.
Huh? Ooh, use the logic against you.
No, because if it's good G1 Optimus Prime, he's gonna have to get it.
That's true. That is all going to depend what that ends up looking like.
Yeah.
But
It depends.
But
if they
you know,
repaint it.
we've talked about these cel shaded Optimus. What would a cel shaded Megatron look like?
Well, that's really easy, Don. So go look at a screenshot of Megatron from Transformers Devastation, and it would look exactly like that, because that's entirely what this is. This is just the texture map for Devastation Optimus Prime, but painted onto a real thing.
And since we're talking about cell
Hang on,
shading,
Beckas.
and
I believe the person who painted the prototype for this actually did a lot of customs of actual Masterpiece Optimus Primes using that same painting style. So this is something that there's practice at, and is now just being put into a mass production form.
And what's weird is with this statue, this sort of reminds me at the end credits of season 1, when Prime is coming towards the screen and he transforms. It's almost like it's picking up from that point when he's running in robot mode, it's sort of like that's what it seems like it's kept picking up on that point from. Is he just came out of the TV screen and transformed, and he's continuing that flow of motion from the end credits, which just strikes me as being really cool. It'd be nice if this had like the background, like the desert background in the box that you would get from the end from the
Toy Hacks
season.
Toy Hacks can probably set you up with something like that.
That's true. That's very true. I want to know what the price is, but apparently there's no price or pre-order information for this.
Yeah,
so.
they're not ready to do pre-orders yet.
But this might take the place of my Unicron lamp. It'd probably be more affordable.
I'd hope.
Probably.
Maybe it'll be cheap enough that you can get that and still get the Unicron lamp, because that's what we want.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get that lamp.
Oh, but what I was gonna say is the cel-shaded Weijang Optimus Prime, the MPP-10, the upscaled Optimus Prime, that actually finally came out, and I got a shipping notification on that a couple days ago, so that should be in within the next 2 weeks.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see how that looks.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that one.
It's exciting to have a cel-shaded version of a good Masterpiece Optimus Prime mold.
Yeah.
Well, let me know when that happens.
Have we had a bad
MPP-10's
one?
a good mold. I wouldn't say MPO1's necessarily great anymore.
It wasn't that great when it came out. I mean,
It's
it
fine.
was novel. It was interesting, but it didn't really age. It didn't
You
really
can
age.
appreciate something. It doesn't have to be good.
I don't.
Still.
I don't appreciate it.
It's
I mean, it started
fine.
now.
I appreciate it. I mean, that's a heavy toy. You could
I
bludgeon something
I
with
really
that.
kind of wanted one that would not snap its own toes off with the pointlessly metal lower legs. I was kind of hoping for a knockoff because I'd rather have a toy that can actually support its own weight than one you could use as a murder weapon.
I mean, poor Kayla knows those though.
Hey, what if you need a murder weapon?
If you can design it so it can support its own weight while still being a murder weapon, I think you've really, hit the nail on the head here,
Yeah,
Well,
but
or
that's-
driven the nail into someone's head, as the
yes,
case
but
may be.
in terms of needing a weapon, we've discussed my brother and his swords already, so we're good.
Yeah.
So I don't
yeah.
I don't need.
Most homes are not as well equipped, though, Rob.
Yeah, that's true, but if you're
Most
going to
homes
get
don't
it,
come with a brother with swords. Is what I'm saying.
yeah, that's true. But if you're going to, if you're going to get a heavy die-cast metal transformer that you could use as a murder weapon, they really need to make a bludgeon. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I ran a poll on Twitter the last couple of days,
You know
and
how to do that?
yes, I do. And I actually asked the fandom at large if MPO1 came back, what should he come back as? Unfortunately, the winner of the poll was the fourth option, that his time has passed.
Yeah, that's
But
what I
I-
voted for.
But I did get several people voted for both cartoon colors and cel shaded. So I just think that mold has some life left in it, because it was the one that started the whole Masterpiece family. So I would like to see that mold at least one more time, in some fashion. But if it doesn't,
$200.
but if it, well, that's cheaper than what Dinobot's going to cost you.
True.
And if you don't have that MPO1 and you want a nice centerpiece Optimus for your collection that really doesn't really need, just to have a nice Optimus focal point shelf, that could be it.
And if you want to spend,
MPO1 would never sell at the 25,000 yen price point anymore. It's not possible.
but if you want to buy a toy at $200, why don't you go to tfradio.net/Amazon and buy it there? Some toy, $200. I'm sure they're there.
Oh yeah.
So that just helps Brian offset the cost of the hosting and the equipment. I mean, I'm looking at the equipment I have, and I don't have nearly what Brian has, so I can only imagine. But Brian makes the show sound darn good for you guys. So, any purchases?
This is a very easy way to support the show. It doesn't cost you any more. Amazon just basically kicks us back a couple of cents as a finder's fee.
Yeah.
I mean, they're either going to send rockets to the moon with the money or give it to us. Forget the moon.
Personally, I don't trust them to send rockets to the moon, so...
No.
Yeah, it really should
What if
just come to us.
we get enough money to send us to the moon?
How about we get enough money to send you to the moon, Garrett?
I would do it. The monkey has to go first.
Okay, the thing is, you can go to the moon, like, we'll build the rocket, but we're not going to have enough money for the life support system.
Oh, man, that's what I was just about to say. I didn't think that.
So it won't have air conditioning?
I mean, literally, yes, it will not have air conditioning.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's okay. He can just open the window.
There we go.
That
It's the
will be-
perfect plan.
That will be a great way to vent
And-
all that CO2 he's going to generate as he breathes.
And he can go at night when it's cooler.
Yeah. Of course, in space, night comes every, 90 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to support the Radio Free Cybertron space program, I found something interesting this week, a line of figures I had never heard of before at tfradio.net/Amazon. It is called the My Build series, and it is a series of little robot frames, either with outer armor or just a blank frame that is completely Lego compatible. They start out with Prime shipping at $12 for just the bare frame, and it's like between 16 and 20 generally for the other models that actually come with armor and accessories and things. They're nifty looking.
Interesting.
Those are cool.
Please buy enough of those so we can afford my life support.
Sadly, I can't make a special link for that, but maybe there'll be a tfradio.net/mybuild at some point.
Yeah, what
We
we'll do,
should
Eric, is
actually
we'll get.
kill me to make a collection page in terms of collecting links to all of us who have Amazon wish lists, so we can plug that too during the
Yes.
shows, and I can use the affiliate link that way.
It's a good idea.
Brian, when you listen to this, do that.
Just say his name like 3 times. Kilby, Kilby, Kilby.
No, we don't want him to show up.
See, what we can do, Eric, is that just like in Spaceballs, you can have 6 packs of Perry Air, and then just crack one open when you need one.
Yes, canned carbonated air.
Yes.
Hey, Rob, what's on T-Formers this week?
Okay, well, first up is a little editorial I put together. Just the reasons I'm trying to take a little bit of a step back from collecting seriously and just get the few things I want the most and let it go, because, on my budget with the amount of time I have to go look for things, this is a hobby that will drive you insane. And
Yeah.
I'm insane enough as it is. I really don't need help. So yeah, I wrote an editorial about that, and thank you to everyone who has gotten in touch with me since, trying to help me get a hold of things. And as long as it's within my budget, I really appreciate the help. But like I said, my whole next paycheck is looking to be robot dinosaurs, so I appreciate it, guys. Thank
I
you.
thought you were getting a lot of positive feedback on that article too after you posted it, so that was really cool.
Yeah,
A lot of people are feeling like they're in the same boat, it looks like.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's understandable given just how hard it is to get things right now.
Yeah.
But also we have my review of Requiem of the Wreckers, which came out today. It is much better, in my opinion, than Sins of the Wreckers. I enjoyed it a lot more. It's a good wrap-up for the Wreckers series, and it is... it's got some pretty good flashback sequences by Jeff Sr., who I've always liked. And I recommend that. Also, not in the show notes yet, but also up on the site this week is my review for Optimus Prime number 19, which is also out this week. That is a Sarah Peter Durocher issue, and she gets to draw Starscream again, so that is always worth seeing.
Excellent. Excellent.
Let's see. Also, an article about how there is a Transformers themed fashion line coming from United Colors Benetton, apparently.
Wow, that's takes me back.
And
Takes me back.
also James Edick, aka Serial Geek, has been posting images to Instagram. He apparently got a really large collection of G1 production art, including some never used things like the original blue color scheme for Blue Streak, an unused color scheme for Ravage, and an early pass at Mirage's design with a very different head. So that's and he's still posting stuff. I need to check and see if he's done anything new today. But yeah, there's some really interesting stuff coming out of that.
Nice.
Awesome. Hey, Don, what's on the network this week?
What's on the network this week? It's a Don Deal, episode number 2. On the second episode of It's a Don Deal, we're talking about the future of action figures, Thundercats Roar, new Action Masters, new Pretenders, and much more. Plus, we have Buy or Sale, Don's Leaving Money on the Table, and more. RPG Lessons Learned, episode 56, Luncheons and Dragons, D&D 4th edition, and BFRPG. I love that name, Luncheons and Dragons.
Yep.
This week on RPG Lessons Learned, Dusty and Brian talk about running games in an hour over lunch at work. Do you aspire to run a shorter game? This is worth a listen.
All right, awesome. Diecast, can we expect any reviews anytime soon?
Yeah, I've been rearranging my space. So I'm trying to get that area straightened out so I can do some more reviews. But I have like 50 toys on the display or the review table right now. So
You could start reviewing Power of the Prime so you didn't have to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, if you're a listener of the show and you're interested in hearing Diecast review episodes of Power of the Primes in full detail without us trying to kick him off the call,
or make me laugh.
tweet at him at Diecast2 on Twitter and let him know that's something you'd be interested in watching.
Because we're not.
Diecast cry.
Yeah, we're not interested in hearing him talk about this at all. But if you are, let him know, and maybe we can get some traction on this and actually get him to do something when he can't find the time to review toys.
Also, I'm going to nominate those weird Taobao combiners you got this week as something that might be worth reviewing at some point. Because
we keep telling him he needs to do reviews of the weird stuff, the weird non-Transformer stuff he finds on Taobao. He just never does it.
Yeah, because not a lot of people care.
You think that, but I'm not sure that's the case.
If you
won't
don't
know
do one,
unless
you'll
you
never
try.
know.
Yeah,
Don's right. Views on the table, Diecast.
Yes.
And sometimes being the only person who has reviewed something will get you, further than reviewing something popular that a dozen other people have done. So, it's worth a shot sometime if you feel like it.
It's like if I review.
It's not even if you feel like it. We're telling you, go do it. Diecast, you have one job: to review toys on the internet.
And just a reminder that you can find this episode at tfradio.net/573. You can also go there to view these show notes. We have our voicemail line. There'll actually be a voicemail played on Don Deal later tonight. We're not doing live calls, but we do have a voicemail. And you can also send text. That is 931-99-GOBOT. That's 994-6268. And soon we should have a mini cast with John and Bill Ray coming up. Hopefully we'll get that done here soon. Is John back?
What's wrong with you? Oh, I'm here.
Oh,
yeah. I just have to be not lazy and call Bill, but we're both ready to do it. We're prepared and ready to go.
Awesome. And you can find us on Twitter at TF Radio. Facebook is facebook.com/TF Instagram, TF Podcast. You can find Rob Springer at zonebase.org and also at Robo Rob Springer. I can't talk. On Twitter. And all right, Diecast, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Diecast2, on Facebook at Reviews by Diecast, and on tfradio.net/reviews, and also on YouTube at RFC Reviews. Hashtag get Unicron made. Because, God, Machinima Power of the Primes is pointing so hard to a Unicron. There's not one character in that that we do not have a toy of other than Megatronus, I guess. Well, if you count his little Prime Master, but
I think they count it.
Probably.
they may.
The RID figure too, if you want to count that.
Well,
Sure.
if the Combiner Wars finale set any precedent, hashtag get Unicron's arm made.
Or Unicron's head.
Nope, just the arm. That's all we got of Fortress Maximus at the end of...
Wasn't that Metroplex?
Oh, Metroplex, yeah, at the end of Combiner Wars. So.
It was a leg for Trypticon.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that means Trypticon had a leg up on Metroplex.
Don, where can people find you?
I can be reached wherever the best puns are found, usually on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
All right. Chris?
I'm on Twitter.
Okay. Fair enough.
Sorry to hear that.
Me too, a lot of the time.
I'm not gonna. Kilby always does it, but I won't. Matt, do you want to give out yours?
Hashtag Seacons before Unicron. That's all anyone needs to know.
They will find him that way.
He'll just appear as long as you tweet that.
He'll hear you. Rob, where can people find you? And don't forget your Patreon.
Thank you much. I am on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Flailthroughs. I'm on YouTube at Flailthroughs. Currently, we're catching up on more of Gundam side stories, waiting for the new Gundam Breaker release at the end of June. And if you want to see a specific Gunpla or mobile suit that's included in the game, I have a Patreon tier for that, patreon.com/flailthroughs.
Awesome.
Rob, speaking of the Gundam game, you mentioned the other day that apparently Tryon 3 is going to be DLC for one of your games, correct?
Yes, new Gundam Breaker, it looks like will have Tryon 3 as a downloadable character. Not sure if that is going to be a free or a pay download at the moment, but Don has a PS4, and that game is on his wish list at tfradio.net/MasseyAttack.
Yes. And the world needs more Tryon 3.
Yes.
Best mobile suit ever.
John, where can people find you?
That John D everywhere.
Excellent. And
Literally everywhere.
That's everyone. Eric, where can people find you?
Hashtag Jason sucks, actually, or at Eric Crowbar. But I'm trying to start a new hashtag. I hope it picks up. Hashtag Jason sucks. I've only done 2 tweets of it so far, but we can hope.
Well, put in some more effort. Maybe you'll get there.
Wait.
You need to add before Unicron onto the end of that.
Jason sucks before Unicron.
Maybe not.
I'm not sure about the message that's trying to impart.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work.
Plus, I mean, if Jason already sucks, then that means Unicron. Okay, never mind.
All right, we're stretching.
Eric,
I meant like Unicorn.
Eric, you're digging a hole.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But I do have a podcast network if you want to check it out. Nerdy Geek Talk. Basically, anywhere you listen to Radio Free Cybertron, you can find it, other than their website, because that should be obvious, because that is their website. So, Brian Kilby really wanted to harass me the one time that I said you could find it anywhere you can find Radio Free Cybertron if you search Nerdy Geek Talk, and he's like, "What about our website?" So no, you can't find it on Radio Free Cybertron's website, but basically everywhere else you should be able to find it.
Although you could probably buy space from Brian on the website. I mean, everything has a price.
Yeah, but why would I want to do that?
Now, Eric, is that the one where you and the bunch of young, wet behind the ears fans talk about stuff that?
Yeah, we have several shows. The main one is Steel City Plots. That's one that people really listen to. That's our Transformer show, which is a younger generation of fans, as Don was saying. Yes, people that are all about my age. Some a little younger, some a little older. So
cool.
It's a different perspective.
The Transformers podcast by kids for kids.
Yeah,
That works.
Oh my God, their sponsor is 4 kids.
Well, it would be if 4 kids wasn't like kaput.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Just like Saban brands.
I believe they got wiped out through various bad deals a while back. By bad deals, I might mean bad choices on their part.
And speaking of bad choices, you can follow me on Twitter at Jason S. Kirk. And also check out everlastingminute.com. That's it for this week. We will.
What minute are you up to anyway?
We are at like 42, I think. We're up there. I will not be here next week, but everyone else will. Go ahead.
So have you got to the tunnel, the tunnel things?
No, the tunnel.
I have never actually seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from
Really?
start to finish.
Even I
just
have.
bits and pieces through the years.
The tunnel we record in like a month. And episode 44 came out today. And let's see, I actually won't be on 6 episodes because I'm on vacation, but and I won't be here next week, which Eric is very happy about, but everyone else here will be. So tune in.
Well, Eric won't be here next week either, so it's fine.
It's okay.
I won't be here.
I'm going on vacation too. It's a coincidence, but
yeah. And speaking of, just to put it
Stop
out there,
stalking Jason.
On June 20th and June 27th, I will not be here. I'll be out of town June 20th for my birthday, and I will be out of town the following week for some other stuff I've got going on. I really can't talk about right now. So I will be out of town those 2 weeks. There won't be as a Don deal, obviously, but hopefully everybody can say
just without Don.
Yeah, well, then we call it a deal.
Yep, it's a blank deal.
Yeah.
It's a blank deal.
So unless there is some kind of doppelganger Don filling in,
we'll find someone else named Don.
We should get Paul Agnew on to do his Don impression.
We've discussed this before. Triplet is Don when Don's not around, so we just have to bring him on.
Oh yeah, wasn't Triplet supposed to be here today?
He had computer
issues.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
he's playing Friday the 13th.
Yeah, we all pretty much agree that he just went to play Friday the 13th instead.
Yeah.
That's probably some sort of computer problem. The problem of not wanting to use your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably need to get him and John in some kind of 12-step video game detox program.
No, I think John's managing it pretty healthily.
I can quit whenever I want.
Yeah.
Just don't test him.
And speaking of quitting whenever we want, we'll quit the show now. So see you next week, everyone, and have a good one.
No, you are not getting more food. You fat
Dog's
little
locked
cat.
in the basement because the air kicked on, so closed the door. So she's panting up at the top of the steps.
Well, all right.
Jason, you weren't the worst.
Well, thank you. Well, I better, like I said, I've done a few of these. I hope I wouldn't be that bad.
I didn't say you weren't bad.
It's a don't deal.
Yeah, I like that too. All right, if anyone needs any bio breaks or anything, you got about 5-10 minutes. Go ahead.
Also, people watching live, go ahead and start submitting your questions in the chat and via Twitter if that's your thing now, and we'll try to collect as many of those as we can before we start It's a Don deal in a few minutes.
Again, we won't be taking live calls this week because Brian has the hardware, nobody else does.
No, it's because Jason sucks.
That too.
Before Unicron, apparently.
No, do not. No, you can't keep that going.
I didn't want to start in the first place. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, we just need a ringer Don for those 2 weeks that our actual Don won't be here.
Like I said, we should get Paul Agnew on to do his Don impression for that.
Oh my God.
If Rob Springer's schedule was more flexible, we could just have him do it.
Either one, or we could have 2 Dons for those weeks.
If we got Rob Springer, we could call it Being Donsome with Rob Springer.
I saw Toys R Us had a Macho Man cape, and I was like, I tweeted that he definitely needs to get that, Rob Springer.
I told Kilby he needed one, but
Oh, is that what that
he
was?
has the glasses after all.
I didn't know what that was. I couldn't figure out what you were shooting for.
Yeah, it was a replica cape, I guess. It was like, it's normally like $80. Have you found anything interesting at Toys R Us, Don? You've been to yours lately?
Not lately, because since they stopped getting trucks, it's literally nothing new. I mean, it's all the same stuff that I could have bought a
probably
lot.
only have a couple of days left, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'll probably go tomorrow since I have to go into town. Even though I'm off, I got some stuff, errands I got to run once I get paid and pay some bills. But the sad thing is, it's like stuff I bought earlier when I thought it might get gone.
Yeah, it's cheaper now.
Yeah, so it's like I could have waited and got that. I could have waited and got that. I could have waited and got that. But if I, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, mostly crap.
Oh, hey, by the way, if any of you guys see the Crash Combiner Bisque, I actually still need that. So
okay.
If you do, let me know because
I haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen any Crash
that's
Combiners, I don't think.
No, that was a thing.
Yeah, I got a feeling that's going to be a Ross thing for the most part. Ross, Marshalls, or TJ Maxx.
Yeah. I wish the Toys R Us closings were like when Kitty City closed back in the early 90s and dragged all the weird crap out of the back. I mean, just they had the Masters of the Universe like accessory packs in 1990. That's where I saw that like $50 Fortress Maximus I couldn't afford. Brewed that for a good 20 years solid. But yeah, just all kinds of things. And my favorite thing that I got out of that I played maybe twice, but is just such a fun thing to read and such a fun system was the Ghostbusters role-playing game by West End Games. I got that for like $10, and that's worth a mint now.
So JT Prime in the chat just said, my TRU got 112 Grotesque in for 1082, and someone bought 40 of them.
Oh yeah,
oh my God,
that's a good investment.
I would have too.
Jeez.
I'm definitely going tomorrow then, but
no, mine didn't get any.
Unless they just found any.
The only thing I noticed that they got in were like those the Red Ranger Dino from the movie, and there's like 100 of them in each store. It was like all of a sudden that's all this warehouse shipped out. The last shipment was all the Zord, the movie Zord.
Yeah, it's I walk in there and it's like, there's those Unicron. Well, true, I'm not Unicron, Cybertron, but it's like, I've already dynamics those Cybertrons down to about $25 a piece, so I'm still cheaper now than than what they are running currently. But
my area has none of them. They're all gone.
Well, I'd buy you one, but then you'd find one locally.
No,
and
I
not
have.
Want it, so then
I do have one already. I
bought Diecast. Those Wreckers, they don't have any robot modes for the pictures that you were talking about.
Yeah, but I was saying the green one is already shipped to me.
And is this the same place that you the same listing you ordered the red one from?
Yeah.
So okay, so you know that they transform.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
hey,
they have colored pictures. It's weird.
Yeah, DK Rat Trap. I don't read the IDW comics right now, so I have no idea what's going on.
It's not Showtime yet, so don't answer any questions.
It's I thought that was just something I missed during the regular show, not the.
No, those are
not
the.
I don't know what it is about this figure, but it got flagged as patent infringement, and they did not want to ship me the figure. And I was finally like, you ship me. That's all I buy. I buy these figures all the time, and you ship them no problem. They're like, well, you're gonna have to be responsible for it. And I was like, just ship the figure, and they finally did.
Like, I'm good. Do it.
What figure was it?
The green.
Well, I mean, any one of the logos on that figure could get it.
It's green. It's
the Roadbuster.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they gave me a really hard time. Did not want to ship it to me.
Yeah,
and I couldn't understand.
Yeah. I mean, Hasbro is one thing, but, buying this, look at all the companies you are basically crossing here. Look at all the logos on that thing.
Yeah, I just don't know what set it off. You know what I mean?
That is a good question. It could be NASCAR itself that they are afraid of having an issue with. It's there's just so many possibilities there. I would not even know where to start to tell you.
Because on a similar vein, I'm still waiting for my G Creations Gorilla.
I was wondering if
still
anything happened with that.
That's never.
Well, I contacted the buyer. He said he has contacted.
You contacted yourself?
No, I'm sorry, the seller. Sorry, I contacted the seller.
Did you take 10 minutes and write yourself a polite letter?
Dearest Dawn.
Dear Customs, I would like my figure.
But no, so what's
Anyway.
the status on that?
The seller says that the seller contacted through his mail system to try to get it released if there's a problem, and if I don't hear anything, if I don't receive the figure within 10 days, he's going to reship me another one.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Yep. So
Awesome.
I kind of wanted a refund instead, just because if the other one gets stuck, if there's something about this figure
There's
that's
nothing
causing
about
an
the
issue.
figure.
I know, but I don't know. I'm just saying, if there is, he would be out a second figure, and I don't want to see, because this guy's done. He's been
It's
an excellent
just
seller.
chance.
Yeah, but
That's all it
Yeah.
is.
Even so, like, it is basically his responsibility to make sure that you get the thing you paid for.
Right.
He can't make Customs release the one that they're holding necessarily.
Right.
And if he doesn't try to set you up, then you are within your rights by eBay and PayPal's policies to come after
yeah.
him. Which
And
will
I
harm
think-
him. So it's in his best interest to do this, especially since he can clearly see you're not, like, nothing about this would make it look like you're trying to screw him over. So, like,
Exactly.
he knows this is
But-
all
but I
outside
am-
of everybody's control. So
Yeah,
Right,
I don't
exactly.
think this is going to damage your relationship with him, Don.
No.
I think
Oh,
he
no, it's
probably
just-
does this enough.
Right. But I'm just trying to think of his point of view. I would hate for him
well,
to be
that's
out.
kind of what I'm saying. Like, in terms of what damage he would take by putting you in the position of having to file a claim against him to get your money back, it's cheaper for him to just send you another toy.
Right. Because if he's paying free shipping, and I got it for $100 with free shipping after eBay coupon, then he would still. It's still cheaper than getting a refund. But also, just for those of you that is any.
Uh-oh. Did I freeze up? Am I still... Chat, am I still live? The heck? Skype disappeared. Well, good thing it was before the other show started. Alright, I'll get him back up. Interesting. I had like a threading error or something. I don't even know what the hell that is. So, let me save this real quick. I don't know. Bring Skype back up. So, hey, chat. How's it going? Don Deal coming up here pretty quickly.
What if that's not what? That's not even. What that's. You know, the one thing I finally figured out what Diecast has in common with Captain
With a 5-year-old?
Kirk. No, with Captain Kirk. One, his hair never moves. There's that. Two,
It's a lot of product.
it's a lot of product.
He looks
It's
better with
glued
his
down
shirt
very
on.
tightly.
Yeah, and two, his logic could confuse any computer into self-destructing.
Talking computers to death is fun.
Yeah. All right, so...
Obviously, Kirk did it
RFC
like 3 or 4
Tarn.
times.
That's what he is. He's RFC Tarn.
All right, so I got to restart. Actually, 1 second.
Now, why are you being pouty boy? Huh? Why are you being a pouty boy?
He didn't attack you yet. He's sad.
No, he did. He got my wrist.
Oh.
It was off screen though, so it doesn't count.
You've had food and you've had your treats.
Anyway,
He went for the Nasty went for the wrist. He's trying to make it look self-inflicted.
For the live stream viewers, there's still time to get some questions in before we start It's a Dawn Deal. You can put them in the YouTube chat or tweet them to @TFRadio on Twitter.
Yeah, so I think probably the best thing to do is, Don, you can start with the introduction.
The monologue.
The monologue, yes. Oh, I forgot we did that. You can then, if you want real quickly, you can throw to me and I'll play the voicemail we have. And then after that voicemail is done, I'm just going to be in the background working on the show because I don't want Kilby to have to do it because he's got so much on his plate and I leave in 36 hours. So my time's limited too, but the stream will be fine, hopefully. And I think John's going to feed you the buy or sells because that seems to be working really well as long as John's down for that.
Okay. All right. Just let me know when.
Sure.
If Chris wants to wait for some more questions or anything, we can wait a little bit. Or
I mean, between buy or sell and the monologue, we probably got enough to make a show. Just
Okay.
Hey Jason, you see that trailer finally came out? The Fans Hobby.
Came out where? Because I know you could order it from Fans Hobby like 2 months ago.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It got to my retailer in Taobao.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm assuming I'll see it on BBTS any day.
Coming soon, yeah.
Don't forget about the money left on the table. That's the only reason I'm sticking around this week.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it on the show, but obviously I pre-ordered the Make Toys God Bomber.
Oh, we know.
I'm waiting for the black.
You don't have to say it.
Although, wait, don't you basically have 90% of it?
Yeah, it's the only God Bomber I'm gonna have. I mean, I'm never gonna. The Takara, as expensive as the Takara one is, and as floppy as it is, might as well just get this one.
I was gonna say this looks like the only toy to ever be God Bomber and actually look good. Like it looks like it's actually a good toy. I'm amazed by it.
I mean, I could still drop it eventually, but I would have preferred to see like $80 instead of $90. $70 would have been great, but there was no way they were going to go down that low. But I think that's a decent price. If they had gone over 100, I'm not sure if I would be. They priced it just at the upper limit of the upper limit of what I was going to be okay doing.
I'm really hoping that they do a black version though.
They will. I assume they designed it for the black version anyways, because like you said, the Divine Armor already came.
I was gonna say you literally have 90% of that robot already. You basically just need the God Bomber torso, and you have the toy.
Yep.
Okay, so want to start the show, Don?
Yeah.
Oh, let me get my recordings going again. And
remember when you do the opening, Don, don't refer to people calling because they can't.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, do I have Skype recorder this? Okay, yeah. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay. Is it time to play the music? Is it time to light the lights? No, but it is time for a Don Deal tonight. Welcome to It's a Don Deal here on Radio Free Cybertron. I'm your host, Headmaster Don. Along with me is the crew of Radio Free Cybertron and our producer, Jason Kurt, tonight filling in for Brian Kilby while he's on assignment, trying to find a retail store that actually has something in stock worth buying. Pro tip, not so far. So let's go ahead and get started. I believe we do have, now we are not taking live calls tonight. Brian does have the only equipment for receiving live calls. And Jason is not going to tweet out his phone number on Twitter. So we're going to have to bypass that tonight. So I apologize for that.
Well, Don, you could tweet out your number on Twitter.
Yeah, but I choose not to. but I do have yours, so I'll tweet that out in just a minute. Massey, would you take care of that? Thank you. Massey's
Worst
my personal
secretary ever.
Well, he's my PA, my personal assassin.
Nice.
But let's go ahead with... But we do have one listener message that came in earlier this week. Let's go ahead and start with that, and then we'll go on to our other topics.
Yeah, no problem, Don. I'll go ahead and play a voicemail. This is from Eric, not Garrett. There's no Garrett this week.
This is Eric from Minnesota.
Yes. So here it is.
Get moved.
Maybe.
Hi, my name is Eric. I'm calling from Minnesota, and why haven't many anime shows copied the innovations to the mecha genre that Transformers have brought, such as independent thinking robots, epic gunfights, and just general sentient robots? Because it seems like the Japanese mecha shows are still stuck at making Model T characters of piloted robots. They don't like their robots to be sentient, which is ironic, being that Japan is one of our more technologically advanced countries. So take the answer off the air, and good night.
All right, Don, all you.
Oh, all right. Thank you for the call. We really appreciate it. With help with you being in Minnesota, you're at some point warm this time during this time of year. If not, bundle up. As for that, I think one reason that you're looking at that is if you have a sentient mecha, some audiences really would not relate to it as a character. Now, granted, there's a lot of us that have watched a lot of anime, and we're used to the sentient robots. You know, we're used to all these characters, like from Machine Robo, Revenge of Kronos. We're used to the sentient robots, so we can see them as actual characters. A lot of people, though, like, I don't mean this as a slight, you're a casual fan. Like someone who goes to the Marvel movies, who appreciates the Marvel movies as they are in their own continuity, but not a big fan or as knowledgeable about the source material they're from. The continuity of the Marvel movies is what they're familiar with. They don't care about the handbook of the Marvel Universe said this character did this on page XYZ. They don't care about that, which is totally fine. Trust me, I get it. But like Pacific Rim, I think the reason the first Pacific Rim was so interesting for so many people is that you had characters and you had robots. The robots were not sentient, but they were, in a sense, their own characters to a small degree. But you lose a lot of storytelling if you just make the robot sentient without a lot of human interaction. You also lose your audience POV. So people would be able to relate to the characters and understand that these robots are part of this universe, but getting past the point of being a sentient, thinking AI robot, like from some Japanese animes, may take them out of the story since they're not used to it. So, Rob, you said you've got a comment about that?
Yeah. A big part of it, I think, is also the fact that in terms of sentient robots, they are kind of a side thing in terms of the mecha genre in Japan. Transformers was generally, I'd say, aimed at a younger audience than your average mecha show in Japan, which, you know, since the very beginning, since that became a genre back around 1971, has always involved piloted robots. You know, the nature of the robots themselves has kind of changed from, you know, from super robots to, you know, military machines to monsters to what have you. But yeah, the primary focus of mecha as a genre in Japan has always been piloted machines to focus on the human characters. Whereas, you know, I'd say that Brave and Transformers and Machine Robo and all those things have been definitely more of a subcategory than you know, the main attraction in Japan. I'd say in general it's just because of how the shows happened in Japan, it's kind of harder for a Japanese audience, just as a guest, to see that as a natural progression as opposed to just a, you know, like a subgenre or a sideshow compared to how the development of mecha has gone.
Yeah. I mean, look at the popularity of Gundam. I mean, Gundam has been a piloted mech show since day one, and it is arguably probably one of the best known mecha shows of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be, you've also got Big O, you've got, I guess, Super Sentai to a degree with their mecha. So it's something a little more relatable to, I think. And again, you can probably tell more adult or deeper storytelling when you've got humans involved to get the human drama, and rather than just a bunch of robots that are sentient personalities, but people might not can relate to that as well. So, and again, you've got culture differences as well. So that's my take on it anyway.
Makes sense.
All right, so let's go to our first question from the chat. This is from DK Rat Trap. What does Don think about Verity appearing at the end of the current run of Transformers comics?
I have no clue. I'm not reading. I have not read any of the Wreckers comics. I've not. The last thing I read, IDW, not counting Regeneration 1, was the Cliff Jumper Spotlight. That was the last thing I've read, unless it was something that came in Free Comic Book Day. I'm just so burned out on comics right now. I just really can't muster up enough caring. I've always liked Verity. I've always liked Hunter. I've always liked the guys from when Simon Furman started. I liked where they were going with Hunter and Sunstreaker being a headmaster. When that was all pretty much done away with the coming of All Hail Megatron, I kind of that's the point where I said, it's interesting. I liked it. It's getting swept aside for something else and not being finished. Although I know it was finished later on down the road to a degree. So I don't know. I hope she survives this last Wreckers book. I hope she goes on to something incredible. If they do the reboot and it's the same characters in like a new situation, I hope she goes on to something important. My love for the human characters in IDW, Verity, Hunter, and those early characters just isn't enough to get me back in comics, and I'm sorry about that.
I will say, since I reviewed Requiem of the Wreckers for T-Formers this week, that I think it does pretty well by Verity. I think it treats her well as a character, and it winds up the Wreckers story, and it's a pretty good conclusion. So I think. I hope people will be satisfied. It's definitely, from what I've heard about the other human characters from the early IDW books, I'd say probably Verity comes out the best of any of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy Pink ended up getting brought back toward the end of Robots in Disguise being called Robots in Disguise, and that really amounted to all of nothing. So
yeah,
I mean that just seemed more like a callback name drop thing, just to say, well, yeah, he's still kind of kicking around, and he's kind of Spike's sidekick, except that subplot kind of got dropped after about 5 issues. So,
and we don't want to make Dawn cross, so we won't mention Hunter anymore.
Well, we know. Well, I know what happened to Hunter. I mean, I know what happened. So
nothing good.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was really satisfied with how that was wrapped up.
Yeah, like I said, Nick Roche did a lot better by Verity. I think if you ever do decide to look at the Wreckers trilogy, you will be happier with that than you were with what happened to poor Hunter.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Unfortunately, I think John DeLuna has stepped away, so the first buy or sell is not going to be read out in his luxurious voice. I'll have to just do it myself. Don, buy or sell? Transformers Authentics.
Don't buy.
Good answer.
Okay. I'll admit, all I have is Megatron and Optimus. The Megatron so far is meh. It's very, very meh. It's to steal a term that Eric uses. It's a fun little desk bot, I guess, but it's very meh. I haven't opened up Optimus yet. It looks like that's a little more interesting of a transformation, but with Tank Megatron at this price point, you can only do so much to be a tank. So I'm hoping Optimus will be at least a little more fun. I've heard the Grimlock is nice. I don't know if I want a chance at $10 on these larger figures. If you like the simple aesthetic and you want something to just fiddle with, I mean, it's a nice little $5 toy, I guess. Or if you got, if you want to give this to a little brother, little sister, niece, nephew, to keep them messing with your stuff, sure, it's great. But from our standpoint as a collector, it's meh.
And now handing off buy or sell to John DeLuna.
Hey, Don, how are you doing? Are you ready for more buy or sell?
Hit me with your best shot.
He said, stating the obvious. I'm talking like a gangster, like how gangsters describe what they're doing.
Hit me with your best shot.
I will take this club. I'll strike you over the head. Let's see here.
If you strike me down, I shall return punnier more than ever.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Let's see. It's the worst version of Hydra. Let's see what we got. Oh, buy or sell minicons were the greatest gimmick ever.
God. I would have to say... God. Okay. I'm going to go with buy with a caveat. They were a great inclusion to the toy line. They gave a lot of extra play value to the characters. You had a lower price point that kids could afford, and that way, if they only had one or two of the bigger figures, they could still have a lot of the smaller figures and have the character reaction. The caveat is their inclusion really, really limited a lot of the toys. The gimmick had to come first, and the toy was pretty much built around it to a degree. And I think if the minicons had been like weapons or something,
Target Masters, or if the features they activated were not as intrusive to the design of the character, then I think they would have been better. Like Power Masters.
I guess it's just. Yeah, it's just basically I like them. I like the minicons. From a business standpoint, it was a great play pattern toy.
Pokemon, all that jazz.
Yeah, but it also really limited a lot of the figures. There are a lot of Armada figures I kind of like to see redone, kind of like a Generation Starscream. I much prefer Generation
Shot. You want some of that?
In a better mold, maybe.
No, you don't.
But But yeah, so I think they were great for what they were doing from a business standpoint and for the kids, but from a toy standpoint, it really caused a lot of limitations in these figures.
I will, for the record, say Don's wrong. Combining is the greatest gimmick, sir.
Thank you.
Animorphs
so very
count as a
much.
gimmick?
I'm just amused because Don's saying, maybe if they turned into weapons and activated a less obtrusive gimmick, and it's like what you're describing is Supercon Optimus Prime, which was in fact probably my favorite deluxe from Armada. So
also the Robots in Disguise minicons actually turned into weapons and were actually kind of neat.
That's true.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or many robots that turned into weapons or less intrusive gimmicks like Target Masters and Headmasters.
Headmasters are pretty intrusive.
I think Headmasters are kind of intrusive. If you want a non-intrusive partner gimmick, Target Masters are pretty much your baseline.
Yeah, losing the head kind of presents play problems for sure. Okay, follow up. Buy or sell. Pretenders were the worst gimmick ever.
Okay, it's going to be the exact same thing with the caveat.
Oh my God.
No, because I love the concept. I love the original concept for Pretenders. It's just the toys inside had to be made so simple to fit the concept originally with your initial Pretenders that you kind of just basically got what would be a Beast Machine's transformation. The figure folds together, boom, you've got Landmine's little rocket car. Or the legs fold off to the side, and you've got Submarauder. The shells were very interesting. Iguanus is one of my favorite-looking shells. And Iguanus had a little bit more transformation, but he was a later Pretender. So I think once you got past the first wave of Pretenders, and then you got to the mega like Thunderwing, who I think we all agree is a really nice figure, the Thunderwing figure.
Hey,
and then
last buy or sell. I'm cutting you off, Don.
Okay.
I'm going to stop serving you after this one. Melvar in the chat presented a interesting kind of meta question. So he challenges us on the worst gimmick ever being Action Masters. So I ask you, is the lack of a gimmick a gimmick? Is Action Masters a gimmick because it lacks transformation? Is that the gimmick? Can a gimmick be the lack of a gimmick?
Yeah, it's sort of like on a figure in which you have a lot of brighter colors, a darker gray plastic is your highlight. You know, if you have a character that has a lot of blues or whites or brighter colors, and they have these darker spotches of color here and there, then you're actually your darker colors are what you can consider your highlights, because it draws your attention to those spots and breaks up the color palette of the brighter colors. I think that
so yes. So Action Masters.
Well, I think not at the time. It was such. I thought we talked about this last week on It's a Dawn deal about how at the time it was such a antithesis to the concept of Transformers, is why it wasn't well received. But now we've gotten better figures that don't transform, but better capture the look of the character, and people like it. It's like that Drift figure that does not transform, but is a great representation of Drift.
Maybe not for $300 though.
Well, I'm saying there's a lot of figure in that $300 for what it does and what it has and the paint and everything else. It just depends on, is it $300 worth it to you? So I think not having a gimmick, being a gimmick, is basically your early Action Masters, because it's sort of like first edition Prime. The gimmick was having really, really good robots that transformed into really good looking vehicles. That was your whole gimmick, was just looking like the show. And we all remember the issues we had with first edition at the time. I mean, how many people here never thought you would get a first edition bulkhead after the initial
I still
shipment
don't have a
dried
first
up?
edition bulkhead.
Yeah, I never did get one.
Yeah.
To be fair, I like the Robots in Disguise version better anyway, so it all worked out.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So many opinions that are wrong tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, save this one for next week.
I don't get to say that to XP very often. So.
Save this one for next week.
That's
but
because
Eric
it's never
is
true, Diecast.
Eric's asking if Animorphs are a gimmick. Table that one for next week, Don. Think about it for the whole.
Do we
Okay,
really let it?
I'll give that all the due diligence it needs.
That could be the opening monologue next week. Don's thoughts on Animorphs. So we're gonna do 2 chat questions in a row now. One's not on the script because it just came through, and I thought it'd be interesting for Don to talk about a little bit. Rodimus Supreme asks, doesn't Takara own Brave?
Takara did the toys, but Sunrise, and through affiliation now Bandai, that owns Sunrise, or did own Sunrise, or whatever the case may be, owns the actual shows and likenesses. I sent this in as a listener question over to WTF at TFW, and I asked Vangelis this about why was it a disappointment that, because Vangelis, he knows he's as big a Brave fan as I am, probably even bigger. So, and I asked him, why did we not get Brave homages in in Combiner Wars or Time's Return? My examples were, you could have had Ultra Magnus as X-Kaiser. You could have had Astro Train as Dagon X. And I still think the Lyle Kaiser Combiner Wars could have made a good-looking Gal Gaigar. But with Sunrise Animation owning the likenesses, Takara just produced the toys. That's why we're not seeing these Brave homages, even though I think they would fit, which I think is a shame. But it's sort of like the whole thing with GoBots and Machine Robo. Hasbro owns the names, but not the likenesses. That's why we don't have, new GoBots, a new GoBot series on the shelves, is because Bandai owns all the Machine Robo likenesses for the line in Japan. That's probably why you'll never see the Machine Robo line imported over here, except in specialty stores and stuff like that.
Is it possible they just didn't want to do Brave toys, like the designers?
Well,
I'm not even trying to be a jerk. Like, is it possible just the designers just don't
here's the
care
thing.
about Brave?
Takara loves a repaint. Takara loves reusing a mold. They like making easy money. That's 3 reasons right there. You could have done an Ultra Magnus with Minimus Ambus as the as Kaiser and X Kaiser, and gotten a pretty decent homage out of that. True, the Astro Train as Dagon X is kind of a stretch, but if you look at 2 of his modes are basically parts of Dagon X. Lyle Kaiser's Galgagar, yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch, I'll admit it, but we have seen stranger things like Grand Galvatron. So I think it could have been done to get more use out of these molds and at least acknowledge to the fans that did collect Brave and then do like Brave, like, hey, we're still thinking about you. You ain't getting much, but you're getting at least a couple of figures. Plus, we're getting reuse of the molds, easy money from just pumping out recolors and not even real mold changes, just recolors, and that's it. Maybe new face here or there. So, yeah, it's just a shame that Brave has been so forgotten about, except for a core group of people, and we'll probably never really see its resurgence again, at least not anytime soon.
Okay, so we have a question from Jared Hebert. Who do you want to see in Thrilling 35, as he's putting it, or the first year of War for Cybertron trilogy outside of Impactor and the usual 84 to 86 Autobots and Decepticons?
Well, like I've said when this has popped up before, I want to see War for Cybertron be our G1 story pre-launch of the arc, but from a multi.
But all that will go into the podcast version, at least, Don.
Yeah.
Don, you do realize Ahsoka didn't die in Order 66 or anything, right? Like, they are actually continuing her character story.
Yeah, I mean, I know. It's just I just don't care anymore.
Gotcha.
I am so burned out on Star Wars and comics. I just literally do not care anymore, and I hate it because I did really like her earlier story arc she was going. Then I realized I just don't care. I just really don't care anymore.
Yeah, but they're tying it all in with the movies. Like the
Diecast,
cartoon
I haven't seen any of the movies. I don't
How
care.
long until you're burnt out of Transformers?
At the rate it's going, it can't be that much longer.
I know,
because
right?
you can't find nothing.
Okay, so Jason informs me that the stream is back up, so we will be picking up It's a Don Deal in progress. So to our stream audience, sorry you missed half of Don's answer to that last question, but it will be in the podcast version. It was recorded and preserved. So you can go back and check that out in episode 3 of It's a Don Deal. This'll be. If Kilby decides not to cancel it. What, Eric?
Said it's nice exclusive content. That whole was it a minute?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Okay, so we will do one more question, then go to a couple more buyer sells. So Rodimus Supreme asks a question. I think this is kind of interesting. If a new Beast Mode character were to be added to the fiction, what would their Beast Mode be? What would their name be? And what continuity would they be in if you designed them, Don?
This is
animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Animal. I'm going to go back to. I would like to see, and again, I mentioned this animal before. I want to see a platypus. He's a platypus. He's a maximal, but he's sort of like a platypus version of DEF CON. He's like a bounty hunter kind of thing, like a freelance peacekeeping agent, if you would. But he's aligned with the Maximals, and he just basically takes care of the stuff that Max, like, if you need someone, removed from the picture, I guess he'd be like Repugnus, because Repugnus was kind of this whole character in that he, he did the dirty stuff because nobody else would do it. So I'm kind of thinking this would be like a covert agent. I guess maybe the Autobot counterpart to Ravage, Beast Wars Ravage, taking care of the darker side of the Maximal problems, but he's this really goofy, good-natured Maximal, because with a beast mode like that, how could you not be like this goofy, happy? He's like a happy assassin.
But he's still doing all this dark stuff. But
it sounds
really
like he'd be a perfect
happy.
fit for Beast Wars Second or Beast Wars Neo.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying, it's like he knows someone has to do it. And besides, if you were an evil Predacon, would you expect a platypus to be trying to kill you? No.
I'd be trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, never trust a platypus. Look at it. Like, that doesn't look natural.
Is that some kind of fusor of a duck and a groundhog? What's going on here?
Yeah, a platypus is a real-life fusor. Like, it actually is.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just thinking, it would be just such an interesting design they could do so much with, but it would need a character that matched the uniqueness of it. So that's kind of, I guess his name would be. See, I'm never good thinking about names on the spot.
Names are difficult. Be happy you never had kids.
Oh, I know. Underdown.
Well, we'll workshop that.
Yeah,
John, do you have some buy or sells for us?
Yeah, I've got one. I can't believe this one hasn't been asked before. I'm gonna think it's from Diecast. Buy or sell Titans class Unicron, the dream of a Titan class Unicron. And then I have a follow up.
Yeah, it's a buy. I mean, I don't think the Armada Unicron has aged badly. It has aged to a degree, but I still think if you need a Unicron, and I hate this is like a backhanded compliment. It's not. It is the only one in its various recolors. I understand that the Energon, the more movie accurate. So yeah, but it's still the same mold. So I think if you want a Unicron on your shelf, it may not be this phenomenally giant, huge one that you would get as a Supreme or a Titan class that you would get through the Hasbro Labs, but it's still perfectly fine. But I think with all this buildup, like Diecast said in this week's RFC, in the Machinima series, if you're watching that, God help your soul. I think we're going to get it. It's Magic 8 Ball. All signs are obvious, you idiot. Duh, we're going to get one at some point. But it may be Hasbro Labs versus a regular release. I don't know.
Okay, my follow up to that is buy or sell. Titans class Unicron will be good.
After the last couple of problems with Trypticons shearing legs and the general floppiness of Fortress Maximus and the overall, to me, hardness to find of Metroplex, because I saw one Metroplex is all I ever saw in any retail store.
And the everything of Predaking. Yes,
well,
go on.
I don't think Predaking looks that bad. I don't think he looks great. I don't think he looks bad. They really need to get this, because this is going to be the only Unicron that we're going to have probably for several years. Plus, with the QC issues we've had, they've got to get it right. So it's not that it's going to be good; it has to be good. Otherwise, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot if they screw up again, like with Trypticon's magical shearing legs. Roar! I've fallen and I can't get up. We don't need that again.
That's a drop. Okay, I got another one. I don't quite understand this one, so I'm just going to put it out there. Buy or sell Brian's G.I. Joe collection.
I would
Probably
say
not worth anything.
I would say probably buy, because I mean it's not. I don't think his Joe collection is that big, but I know he has the pieces that he likes. So I'd say just hang on to them. I mean, I don't think they're going to be bringing barnstorming money, so he might as well just save them and enjoy them.
Is Joe stuff worth anything if it's not like sealed in box?
Probably if you had a loose, complete Defiant, Flag, Rolling
it's not
Thunder,
brown.
You know, stuff that's in good shape with all the hard to find parts. I'm sure you could probably fetch a pretty good, like a Terradrome, an actual complete Terradrome would probably bring you a fair chunk of change. A complete Flag with all the railings and stuff would be, you know, so because there's so many parts that could have gotten so lost.
Buy or sell a USS Flag auction where let's see here, how to phrase this. Buy or sell USS Flag auction, buyer pays shipping.
Ouch.
That would be based on where you are and where they are. Because that ain't going first class. So
it's going freight. Slowest truck in the land.
Say, what is it here? Books. It's going media mail. It's all books. Trust me.
Yeah, 6 feet of books. I like to line them up. I like to ship my books linear, just in a line.
It's a complete set of Encyclopedia Britannica, AA to double Z. They made those? Yes, they did.
And then I just set the box up, and it's a bookshelf.
By the way, on a related note, there is apparently the Dallas Fort Worth G.I. Joe action figure and toy show is going to be taking place June 9th and 10th at the Grapevine, Texas Convention Center. I will see everybody there. That is walking distance from me, so I will take a stroll and report back via Twitter. So, all right. Segment 2 of Buy or Sell has come to a close.
All right. Well, we got one more chat question before we go to Don's Money on the Table. This is also from Jared Hebert. He asks, if Generations were to include characters from outside G1, G2, and the movies again, because some of those were considered Generations series, what would you expect to see revisited?
Well, I would like to, if they can get the rights to RID 1.0, Generations Car Robot Brothers with new molds, obviously, because the old ones don't exist anymore. They were run into the ground. Yeah. We've got those. You've got maybe a Voyager Fire Convoy and a Voyager Ultra Magnus that you could get a Godfire Convoy from. You know, so that way you could still have some representation of those characters without the cost involved of the classic figures. Again, there's a lot of good there's a lot of good toys in Armada, Energon, and Cybertron, but especially Armada and to a degree Energon, I would like to see them redone in Generations that wasn't bound by the gimmick. Maybe say a gift set of a Generations tidal wave, and he could come with the Ramjet Minicon. It really wouldn't activate anything, but it would be like a partner, like, you know, that's his Scout Minicon or something like that. I liked Energon Rodimus. I thought that was an interesting design. I didn't really care for his pants or shirt mode, but a Generations figure could be interesting. Rescue Bots. Definitely want Rescue Bots in Generations. Bit more complex transformations. You know, but they would still have the same overall, the look of the Rescue Bots, but have a little more complex figures. That's probably what I would like to see. Again, not having played any of the video games, I know there was some tie-in stuff from the toy lines from that. I can't think of anything off the top of my head would want to see from those lines revisited. Just because I didn't really deal with them that much. That's probably all I can think of off the top of my head right now. Is some of those.
You know, I like your Robots in Disguise idea as a starting point. And I was thinking, too, circling back to the Brave topic from a little bit earlier, you could do those Voyager, Optimus, and Ultra Magnus as symmetrical docking kind of thing. Like, it'd be a completely different kind of Omega Prime, but it would also be a really interesting toy that way and probably be more within the realm of what a Voyager can do engineering-wise.
Right, and they've already done that successfully with Omega Supreme from Energon, and unsuccessfully with Jetstorm from Animated. So building on the success of Omega Supreme and Omega Sentinel and ignoring the god-awful cluster mess that was Jetfire and Jetstorm from Animated, yeah, I mean, that would be very interesting to see them do a symmetrical Docker as a Godfire convoy. I like that idea a lot.
And I also want Legends class spy changers. So with that out of the way, Don, tell us about the money being left on the table.
All right. Well, the money being left on the table is from our friend Melvar, and he raised a good point that where are our Combiner Wars, Battle Gaia, and Guard City? And
Unite Warriors, specifically Unite Warriors. That's important.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Unite Warriors. We know that some of the box sets did not do well. I understand that, but G2 is an acquired taste. Not everyone has such a refined taste as myself and Chris and others that like the G2. I mean, yes, we understand it's an acquired taste. It's still awesome, but it is somewhat niche. But when you're Takara and you have a property like Battle Gaia and Guard City, that the originals fetch huge bucks, and you've got an entire segment of the population that would want a representation of those characters, not even counting people overseas, just within Japan itself, like Star Saber. You know, these are very hard to find toys. You could redo these Combiner War sets. I don't think it would hurt the value of the originals, because when you're at that level of needing a Transformer for your collection, Guard City and Battle Gaia are so far above what you would consider a collector's item. I don't think making a new Combiner Wars version would really affect the price of the originals. I don't see that happening, at least not anytime in the short future. But they could easily do these characters with existing molds. We could finally get representations of these figures that we cannot afford on our own. They could create some goodwill with the fan base in making these figures. And while I have no problem with the Lyle Kaiser that we got, it's really not a bad figure. But I would like to see them put the work they did into Megatronia and Grand Galvatron, that level of off the wall, of out of the box thinking, and make a Lyle Kaiser. So I think they're leaving money on the table by not making these figures, because they're so much more than what the Generation 2 figures were. They're iconic figures that people aren't going to be able to buy. You could still go out and get a G2 Bruticus or a G2 Superion. You can't run right out and grab a Guard City and Battle Gaia. So I think they're leaving money on the table. I think they're losing a lot of good customer, a lot of fan goodwill. And if nothing else, in the barest bones, they're getting another use from the mold. And we all know how much Takara likes that.
And that's a deal.
And that's a dramatic pause for effect. And
Edit point.
That's a Don deal.
Edit point, or just leave that whole cluster in there because it's funny. I don't care.
Definitely leave the cluster in.
Well, that'll be Kilby's choice because he'll be the one editing it probably.
All right, I gotta get going. I'll see you guys.
All right,
Later,
man.
Take care.
And Matt's internet died a while ago too, which is why he wasn't here for the question he submitted.
Oh, poor Matt.
No one's surprised, but that is sad.
Yeah.
Have to listen.
Well, given how great everyone's internet has been tonight, I'm gonna say we're gonna end call the live stream at this point. But just quit while we're ahead.
Definitely.
So
could have been worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everyone come back next week.
Where we'll probably be taking live calls for It's a Dawn deal again.
And
hopefully.
Jason won't be there, so
Right.
There's
your best
two main reasons.
Yeah.
But I did like that when Don introduced the show, he didn't mention Eric at all.
I actually
Awesome.
wasn't even listening for the first while.
Well, no, I said the RFC crew was here, and he was part of the show tonight, so he's part of the crew. So it's
Sure, backpedal like hell, Don.